All right, well, welcome to, I guess, Lookout Point here. This is Mount Luho in Boracay. And, this is where you can see a lot of the ocean. You can see the water sports behind me. So I came up here because I wanted to reflect on one of the businesses that I was running and operating here for, well, I don't know, about 4 years or so. It was a boat tour business. So essentially, I would lend money to these businesses you see here. These are all boats and jet skis and water activities, right? I would lend money to them at a fair interest rate for 1 year, and they would use the money to scale their businesses, to buy more boats, to, cash flow up their business so that they could pay their staff and they could do what they needed to do. And then I would be paid on their remittance from the tour agents. So when, for example, a Chinese tour group would come and they would have 50 people go on a boat tour, they would typically pay, after the fact, right? Because they have a tour agent agreement. So the businesses needed liquidity to operate before they got paid their actual fee for the operation. So I would come in and finance that for them. And, it worked quite well. But the thing that happens is, a lot of times people will take money and they should put it into their business. They should invest into their business, do the things that we agreed on. But that always doesn't happen, right? Some of the things that would happen, people would gamble it at the casino, right? Cockfighting is a huge thing here. People have a huge problem with cockfighting. They would take the money and they would go bet it on the cocks and lose, right? One guy I lent money to, all of a sudden he showed up with a brand new car and a brand new van, and he had all these new things, and we were like, how can you afford that? Well, I know how he can afford that. So that business worked out quite well for a while until it didn't, right? Like anything. Some of the lessons I learned from that were, lending and funding businesses is great if the businesses are liquid and if the people you're working with have high ethical standards. A lot of these people do not, okay? They just don't. They don't give a shit. They don't care about saving face. They don't care about their reputation. They just take the money. And, I say it all the time. If you're going to be investing in Southeast Asia or any other third world place, be very diligent about who you're doing business with and stuff. I was a little too loose with a lot of them. And you end up being a philanthropist rather than an investor. Water trucks. Water is crazy here. Water is very scarce and expensive here. So that's one of the business ventures I had. I was lending money to the water sports businesses. I was doing very well at it for a while, and then I started over leveraging myself. I started rolling the profits back into more loans and more investments. And then at that same time, the island closed. So when the island closed, clearly all of the water sports were gone. So all of the cash that I had out was not coming back in. And that was a great excuse for those guys just to declare bankruptcy and just default on all the loans. So that buried me as far as that business went. Anyways, there's the water sports of Boracay. This is just a very small piece of it. Beautiful down there though, right? Wouldn't change a thing for the world, man. I had a great time doing that business. I had lots of times on jet skis and boats and island hopping. I helped a lot of these guys expand from 1 boat to 2 to 3 to 5. I help guys fund their restaurants. I help them fund their businesses and their activities. And, I was giving my energy and my goodwill, but a lot of times it doesn't come back. That's life. You have to learn from it. What I learned is deeper due diligence, take profits when they're on the table, don't roll them back in right away. And if you're going to invest in Southeast Asia, be very careful because you're going to turn into a philanthropist rather than an investor. All right? So that's the boat business. Hope you got some value from that, guys. See you later.